Do you consider yourself a little spacey? Like, I totally relate to that. In high school, I was one of those people who, like, I berated myself all the time for not being able to pay attention to lectures during class. I would always go into my A push, which was AP US history, sit there while Dr. Hosmer was talking, and I'd be like, today's the day I'm going to pay attention. Today's the day I'm going to pay attention. And then he says something, and I go off in this daydream state where I'll then come back 5 minutes later and I've missed every single thing he said. Now, growing up and going through college, I had this problem too. And in parenting, I see it show up where my kids are talking to me and all of a sudden I space out. Or I say I'll do something, I get distracted, I forget about it, an hour later that thing's still not done, and it holds me up in the morning. Like, if any of these sound familiar to you, I am there. And if you, like me, give yourself a really hard time for not being able to get things done fast enough, for forgetting to do the important things, or having this like inner panic that you're gonna forget something important, and so you can never relax and you can never rest and you have to just keep going to make sure you don't drop the things, this is for you. We're gonna do 6 tips for moms with ADHD, 6 parenting tips, because when you're a mom with ADHD, you need to give yourself a little bit of a break. You need to give yourself a little bit of love and self-compassion, as well as you just need different strategies than the rest of the nation. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Number 1, don't make your kids' consequences your responsibility. You're going to forget them. If you say, no, you can't watch TV later until you've done your homework, guess what? You're going to totally forget. Like 2 hours later, when your child asks to watch a TV show and you're here trying to figure out exactly what you're going to put in the chili or where that chili packet is, you're going to forget you said it. And that's totally natural when you have ADHD. Your mind has the ability to concentrate on things, like so many things at once, and that's a real superpower. But because of this, don't make consequences your responsibility to remember. A better way to do it is to really figure out when things happen, to talk with your kids about it. We have a process that we teach here at No Guilt Mom and in our balance community. It's called the HAPPY process. And HAPPY stands for have priorities, which means you're only focusing on one parenting issue at a time. And then it's appreciate your kid's behavior. So that's when we really dig in to figure out, okay, what was your child thinking during this? What was your child trying to get done? Or what were they like saying to themselves in their head that may have caused a reaction in them? The third part is to process your own concerns. This is when you give your feelings out. You put it all on the table. We really want conversations in our house versus consequences. The fourth part is problem solving. Now, here's where consequences get off your back. In problem solving, your child decides what they want to try with your approval, of course, but this makes it not on you. And then the fifth one in HAPPY is yield the work. And when you yield the work, you make it not your responsibility. You make it your kids' responsibility. Now, this process has worked for hundreds of our No Guilt moms, and it is a phenomenal, phenomenal thing to put to use in your own family so that you are not in charge of the consequences. Your kids are, and they're actually learning how to be better people in the process. Number 2, take stock of what you do now in your house. So often we do so many things. Like, I am running up the stairs, like making sure I approve my son's screen time. And then I'm going to the fridge and making sure we have what we have for dinner. And then I'm coming downstairs and working on my work. Like, so many things at a time. I take care of so many little details that I often don't know how much I get done. I don't give myself credit for it. When we focus on that gap, the things we don't get done, the things we don't do, our energy and our motivation just plummets. So if you're constantly berating yourself and saying, oh my gosh, I didn't get to that. Oh my gosh, I didn't get to this. That is what you're doing. Instead, I want you to focus on what you do, what you do get done in the house. And I have something to help you out with this. It is our home responsibilities calculator. I've put a link right down there. So make sure you grab it so you know exactly what you do in your home. Number 3, assign family jobs in a central place. How many times have you talked with maybe your son or daughter, or maybe you've talked with your partner, and you've agreed that it is their job, say, to take out the trash? And then 2 days later, no one remembers that conversation happening. You don't even remember that conversation happening. Like you're gaslighting yourself a little to see, like, did you follow through? Did you make sure that they knew it was their responsibility? So that's why you're going to assign these responsibilities in a central place. I like our refrigerator. I like to write everything down there. And when I write down jobs in the refrigerator, it's always after a conversation with me and the other person. And it always includes 4 things. And we do this in phase 3 of our balance program. By the way, I've put a link. You should come in it. But our 4 things are: who does the job? What is the job? When does the job need to be done by? That is one of the most important things, because we will nag and we will remind unless we have that set deadline. Okay, they have until then to do it. And then the 4th part is: when will you follow up? When is it okay to follow up on this job to make sure that it is working for everybody, to make sure that it is done? And usually I recommend following up like a day or 2 after the job is first assigned. And that way you can meet with maybe your tween or your teen, or even your 8 or 9-year-old. They're great for this too. Ask them, like, how is it going? What do you need help with? Look to see what don't they understand. This follow-up process is something that we skip completely, and it makes such a difference when it comes to family members taking over jobs that you're currently doing. Number 4, this is a hard one. Don't do other people's jobs. Don't do it. You'll see it undone and you'll be like, oh, you know what? I'll just fold the laundry. It won't be a big deal. Oh, you know what? I'll just unload the dishwasher. They're busy. Stop right there. Don't do it. You are not super mom. None of us are. In fact, when we try to achieve the super mom status, we just end up burnt out and broken. So once the job's assigned to other family members, don't do it. It is not your job. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. For instance, sometimes I notice my husband is having a hard time at work, like he just has a bunch of work on him. He's coming home stressed. I will go up to him and I will specifically say, hey, I am going to take your job of cleaning out the trash because I see you're really stressed. But I make that explicit and I tell him I'm doing that. And usually he's like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, because it is his job and I am doing him a favor, instead of me just taking it over and then getting really resentful at him when he doesn't notice I did it, which happens. It does happen. It happens. Number 5, plan with one thing. What I mean is, I don't want you to have a separate paper planner, a separate digital planner, a separate wall calendar, a separate work calendar. It will not work for your brain. I really have a hard time seeing if it works for anybody's brain, honestly. So just plan with one thing. I really recommend a digital calendar like Google Calendar. That is what we use in my home and what I teach in our balance program as well. With Google Calendar, you can sync up your family's calendar, you can sync up your own calendar and your work calendar so that everything there is shown for exactly where you need to be and what things are going on. Number 6. Normalize your ADHD behavior. It's really a superpower. And let's face it, odds are that if you have ADHD or if you have ADHD tendencies, so do your kids, because it is hereditary. You have so many great things going on. You have creativity. You have this ability to think outside the box and see connections between things that other people don't see. You have this boundless energy sometimes that just comes out of you. There's so many good things. Normalize this because it is a superpower. And also notice your limitations with it. Don't beat yourself up. You could put these structures in place to really help you with your parenting, to really help you with your home life, but celebrate these tendencies because honestly, they're pretty amazing. So those were 6 parenting tips to help when you have ADHD as a mom. Can I ask you to subscribe to the No Guilt Mom channel for more videos like these? And then I put those links down there. You have that home task calculator down there. You have the link to Balance, which will get you our Confident Parent Pack for free. Check that out down there as well. And remember, the best mom's a happy mom. Take care of you. I'll talk to you later.